Hey everybody, welcome to Unlimited Railworks. We took a little week off because I needed it really bad. And I'm glad that we did, but we're back here to talk about fucking an insane anime, frankly. A really, really, really insane anime. But we'll get to that in time. Elvie's here. Hi, Elvie.
Hello.
Maverick's here.
That I am.
Hell yes. And John is here. Begrudgingly.
Begrudging? Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right, actually. You're right.
Like, what do you mean?
did
I
just
love
realize.
my real friends in the Pokemon world.
Yeah, they literally just dropped the DLC right as we were getting started, and so
Ooh.
yeah, I'm gonna be doing that right after we're done.
Well, I doubt we'll be doing this that long. We're like we keep saying, not a very exciting season, not a lot going on.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that time. We are going to talk about Hellsing Ultimate first, which was our anime of the month, chosen by our patron and friend Beryl. That was a television. I guess it was an OVA. I guess I shouldn't say Was it on television? Was it on Toonami, or was the original on Toonami?
The original was on Toonami.
Okay, so this one was.
I don't know if
just...
this was on anything.
It was dubbed though, which is why a dub that old makes me think
Oh, okay. It was on Toonami.
it was also
at some
okay.
point.
That makes sense. It's crazy. Hellsing Ultimate. It was 10 episodes over six years from 2006 to 2012. And I really like how when you start getting to the tail end, they just start having the after credits hey, 2010, hey, 2011 type stuff going on. But I actually like that format for anime. I wish that they did that with Berserk, maybe, for example.
Across a longer time span.
Yeah, just do hey, let's do the first part of the the Golden War or whatever, Golden. Mm-hmm. Brain not working, but you know what I'm talking about. Do that, and then do another one. And they kind of did that with movies, but it's not the same.
I mean, the idea as well is that the anime kind of follows up on where the 97 anime left off, but also it did not turn out well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, also, it's just it feels weird to say that an OVA feels like a older way of producing a show now. Just with the way I mean, again, you look at stuff I'm gonna forget the actual title of it, so I'm just gonna look it up real quick to make sure I have it correctly. Attack on Titan Final Season Part 3 Part 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
and I guess
Attack
just the
on
Netflix
Titan, the
model
final
in general
season,
also.
Part 3, Part 2. Well, the Netflix model is a little bit different where it's they'll have everything set to go and then just
oh, well, yeah,
release.
they'll release it randomly, but I mean, sometimes you do have them make a 6-episode thing randomly instead of a 12-episode or a 10. The number count can be variable and they can release them at different times.
For sure. And it can still exist that way, but I don't know. I think I mean, again, you can't just have, or it is rarer to have a show exist where you solely are selling it through the physical release sale.
Yeah, sure.
Without it, needing to be an additional companion piece to a already existing franchise. OVA sort of become the DLC of
it's what
anime.
Fate does now, all the time, because they
Right.
can, yeah.
Versus what you have in Hellsing, at least, where it's hey, let's take this idea and let's iterate on it. It's an interesting way to go about the FMA, the FMA Brotherhood approach of just we know that it already exists, but now that everything's all said and done, let's really try and work a little bit more and figure it out.
The Kyosugiga approach, yes. I didn't even think about it until you said that they did that exact thing where they had the net animation and then the proper anime.
And I mean, Hunter Hunt, like there are a lot
Hunter.
Yeah, no, there are plenty of examples where it's like, okay, now we can get back to this and like really let it cook.
Yeah. Well, you've talked a little bit now. Then Maverick, did you want to talk a little bit about Hellsing at all? I know you sort of like burned through it.
Yeah, I've been doing that recently where there's just stuff where it's like, yeah, I can chomp on this, and then I just get through it entirely.
You really jumped.
It was a slow day at work, I gotta tell you. That is all to say that now originally we had planned to do this while I was out of town, and so I had written my thoughts up, and I'm just taking the chance to familiarize myself here. I will start by saying, pretty recently I got the chance to watch Park Chan-wook's Juggernaut, Old Boy. I got to watch Old Boy. It was a very interesting look at the way to have something so visceral and so... I would not say that it is a story that is trying to teach a lesson. It is very much about, like, hey, wouldn't it be fucked up if this happened? But it's still entertaining in a way that you can still get something out of it. Hellsing, I think, can do that, but because of the fact that I watched it now when I am approaching 27 and not when I was 15 to 17, there isn't as much for me to dig through. I cannot tell you anything that happened in that show. As much as I, can say that I watched it all, I don't know, it's just like... It's this presence that has been around, so to say. Like, I know, Alucard is a classic of posters you would see at Walmart as you're, like, browsing through the poster section. You're like, oh, this looks cool. Yeah, this is cool vampire and anime. And then you eventually get around to it, and it's like, yeah, this is fine for what it is. Like, I didn't realize the amount of comedy that they tried to inject into the show and how most of it just fails. The comedy comes more so from it trying to be serious. And I think that's like the big... that's the big part where basically I'm having fun at the expense of whatever it is that this show is trying to do. And that's not necessarily me saying that it's just bad. And I don't know, I don't know if I would call this a bad show, but I know that, like, having done it, I don't really have the, like, yearning to go back to this. I can just say that I have accomplished, exposure to Hellsing, and I can go about my days. But I guess, this is where I get into it a lot, too, as I'm, reading through what I put down, and it's just, it is amazing how you manage to just fumble the bag on having the Nazi party as your main antagonists.
Mm-hmm.
There's that whole speech that the Major has, where he's talking about how cool war is and how much he loves to have a big war, and it's like... It's supposed to be this, I don't know, revelation of how twisted a sick villain could be, where it's like, wow, I love violence. It's going to make me bust because of all the bodies and the fires and the, again, I could see that being diabolical if I were 12, but now at, being much older, it's like, dude, you're just a libertarian.
Yeah.
that you're just getting what's yours. If you're talking about evil, it's the people that know that they are actively doing heinous things and will continue to consume and get a kick out of being able to be more fortunate than others.
It really felt like a lot of it ended up feeling to me like there was that era of video games and everything. I mean, you can even say, movies and stuff, which this is very exploitation era. Everything about this is very exploitation films of the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that. And those tended to just have Nazis in it for the sake of it as the antagonists, who were like, whatever.
Nazi werewolf women of the
Yeah,
SS.
like exactly. Like it's just.
I mean, like yeah, no, there are plenty of examples like where the Nazi Party just shows up and it's like, all right, we're gonna have the once over on these chuckleheads, but I guess it's like,
but they don't.
You introduce.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, like you get to a point where it's like you introduce them, but it's like already kind of accept, like, oh yeah, these are going to be the losers. These are going to be the people that suck, and it's like you don't have to explain as much about why, because you can just point to the fact, like, oh yeah, here's the whole context of the Holocaust, but it feels like in a way this show does not want to acknowledge that the Holocaust happened.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is like it's like there's no structure to it at all of them being Nazis.
Or it's like this guy is getting you get a scene of like the Major getting the shit kicked out of him, and it's like, I don't know if you want me to feel bad for him, if you want me to feel bad about these. It doesn't know what it wants to show me, and like it's an understandably conflicting thing where it's like I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say, man, it sure is good that the U.S. troops showed up in Germany. As history will tell you, it took multiple teeth being pulled to do anything about that, but I digress. Actually, wait, was it the scene with was it the Russians or the Americans that were kicking the shit out of the Major?
I think that was the Americans.
Maybe
Maybe it was the Russians.
I will just say that, to elaborate on your point, that the show definitely just wants to have everyone kind of look badass at a certain point. And so, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they want to have this really easy, really like, oh, of course they're evil, they're the Nazis sort of thing. But then they want to have that cake and eat it too, where they're just like, also, oh, hey, here's this really cool moment that this Nazi gets to kill a bunch of people and look really badass.
Where he simply refuses drinking blood to not become a vampire.
I think in general also like the joke endings they do multiple times for the Nazi cat boy and then the werewolf woman are like, okay.
There was one end end credits thing where it shows the Nazi cat boy like strutting around and it's all jokey and shit.
It felt like Hetalia.
Yeah, it was very Hetalia. And
that's the same time that came out too.
They show
Ultimate.
They show like the Major as like a modern guy, like going around and like wearing like a fucking anime shirt and having like a body pillow, and I was just like, that like. They very accidentally were so right there, but they didn't mean to.
Like, you don't understand how on the mark you are, but there's a reason why this somehow becomes even more frightening. You've put pieces here together, but you do not know, in fact, that you've like created commentary.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing, is that a lot of the time people were just very uninformed, and like obviously that is a problem, but it just goes to show how we like, because I just think about how in middle school I knew this opened so many memories. I knew a bunch of girls who were just so into this shit, and they would just, it was just the kind of thing where it's just like, oh yeah, here, I'm gonna ship this guy, and like I'm gonna ship Alucard and one of the like evil Nazis because they're bishy hot, like not thinking of the consequences really of any of this shit,
because they don't show their like. Yeah, they don't show it at all. Like,
yeah, and I mean, like, and the thing is that I feel like at that point in time, like that sort of. Yeah, it wasn't expected, and it wasn't something that really people really were thinking about at all. It was just like, yeah, they were bad guys that America and Britain and Russia stamped out. We were the good guys. We saved the day. Whatever. Like, they don't think about anything beyond that part, because once you do start to think more about it, you don't want to bring it up as a jokey like villain because they killed millions and millions of people, and B, there's also the layers of actually, like you were saying, like earlier, Maverick, like a lot of the good guys were not so quick to help stop the murders of millions and millions of people. Like it's just a show like this isn't going to ask those questions and be actually like, oh my god, I'm sorry, like they're not going to take responsibility for that sort of thing. And I would say that it just kind of depends on your own viewpoint, because like of course, like watching this, I'm just like, man, that like it skives you a little bit, but it's also just like, it's just so fucking stupid that like I'm just like, all right, it's so stupid. I could just be like, all right, sure, the Alucard's gonna shoot a bunch of Nazi vampires. All right, like it's just that kind of thing.
Yeah, like I said, the exploitation era. It's just how it was. I will say, like,
and a lot of this, or go ahead.
A lot of it, my only problem that I come into is, like, I mentioned this on Twitter, where it's like, I feel like a lot of the, like, horniness in this show is, like, I think, like, a lot of it is really, like, baked into what they're doing. Like, they'll do, like, weird torture scenes, that are, like, really dripping and horny. But then they'll just have, like, weird things with Saris that are just, like, what's going on? Like,
it doesn't match the tone. It doesn't match the tone at all. Like, the one that really stood out to me, or I guess there were a couple, I should say. Yeah, there's like a lot of like sexual, like overly sexual advances and shit like that, like gropey shit, with her. But then the one that like, I felt like that was not good, but definitely of its era. But then it also doesn't really work in this work, because it just doesn't really feel like it fits. But then the one where I was just like, why did they do that, was right at the end, where like when Alucard comes back and he's gonna like, there's all that bit, and Sarah's like kicks down the door and you see her panties, like, and I was just sitting there just like, why did they do that? Like, that just feels so
I really liked how
weird.
I have one like and one hate. One like is ironic. There was a fucking sequence right after she eats her boyfriend. And
her boyfriend, who she barely interacts with,
and she starts running to attack. They do a thigh cam of her running, and it just looked absurd. It was just like, what's going on? The bad one was like right before that, also, where it's like the assault scene with her mother or whatever in her memory was like, the reason that was bad to me wasn't so much like that, it was totally in line with exploitation things, not that that's a good thing necessarily, but like I can just put up with it, but it was just the like literally stabbed in the eyeball, oh, I guess I gotta fuck, like what?
Like, it is again, it's like this showcase of depravity and this idea that like, ultimately, like, here are the things that have affected, like, the context being, like, this was the enemy a werewolf or what? This, like, Nazi.
Yeah, I guess she wasn't a werewolf. My brain just crosses it all over. Yeah, hypnotism woman.
Dude, I couldn't tell you what she was, but...
A freak,
yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this idea like, oh, I'm trapping you in your mind palace of your deep, darkest thoughts, and, the backstory to Saris being, she... witnessed a assault and murder of her parents from a robber, and and trying to retaliate, ended up like nearly getting killed. And then along the way, you just have a robber violate like the body of her mother, and it's like, I get what you're wanting to do, again, from the level of like intentional perversion or intentional, like, how do I showcase that, like, this is a bad person? I'll do these things. But it's like,
you already did.
you could have just left it at, I killed this woman and I'm just gonna, like, already am set to kill a kid. Mm-hmm. The has already been escalated, and I don't know, like, I'm trying not to say it so much like the aspect of clutching pearls, but so much as like, you know, Alucard and Guts in Berserk technically share similar backstories when it comes to having to be a child of a very particular caste system. Mm-hmm. But one gets explored with the patience to be like, hey, yeah, this is like a, you know, traumatic thing that takes years to actually recover from, and then additional years once that progress gets thrown into the eclipse. The other happens, and then you get, you know, because Alucard is Dracula. Spoilers, of course. But no, as Dracula, as Vlad the Impaler, as like all these various identities that the character has had in the general zeitgeist, you know, you go from, yep, he was some like boy toy for a ruler, to, all right, now I'm killing armies and making enemies, and then I'm dead. And it's like, again, I'm not asking for like patience and thoughtfulness when it comes to fucking Dracula, but I don't know, like, it wants to be shocking, it wants to be wild, it wants to be all these different things that I know other like pieces of media have been able to build upon and take into its own like exaggeration. Again, like this being an OVA allows it that level of grime and like edge that a lot of its 80s predecessors got to have. You know, it's wanting to tap into its like Legend of the Overfiend, Demon City Shinjuku, all of these like well-known blends of drama with over-the-top action. And I wouldn't say that it misses its mark, but I feel like there's a difference still that can make some of the edge just feel very, I don't know, like, it wouldn't be as impactful, if only because you've seen, or like you see what is being done before it, and there's much more commitment to what it's going for.
Mm-hmm. LV, you haven't said much. Do you have anything you want to say about
I'll
Mr.
say it right
Dracula?
here. I have the most positive opinion about this series and this whole group. I thought this series was very funny.
liked it.
I think this is the funniest shit.
I also liked it. Yeah.
I just have to be like, hey, fucking, maybe chill out.
Like I said, I don't think it's bad, but I feel like, you know, I've done my one watch.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to see it.
This is, I sincerely, I think I have to say I enjoyed this show. I think I sincerely enjoyed the show. I watched it with a company of other people. And again, I did my extra legwork of like, okay, I've never seen the original anime. And this is where a thought really came to my mind when, I'm not even finished with the original anime, which is about the same length, but it's not OVA format, right? And I keep thinking so much about a world that generation of kids grew up with Ultimate instead of that original anime, because those two series are not the fucking same series. I was shocked. I was utterly shocked that there is no comparison between Fullmetal Alchemist and Brother. These are two completely different series that just have the same characters. If you watch this after the other one, you would think Ultimate was a fanfic. Yeah. Like, Hellsing, the original anime, is not the same series as this, and it's crazy to me. It is so crazy to me. But first, my thoughts on Ultimate. Yeah, I went in just no thoughts, head empty. The moment, again, I look a little bit into the background information of this. The creator of this series has outright said, I just wanted to make a vampire series, and the vampire is cool, and he has a gun, and he, looks cool. Like, he has no... He did, again, it's been already reiterated in much better ways that y'all have said, but there was no intent to say anything deep with this series whatsoever. Like, using Nazis as the boilerplate of, like, haha, we need some evil bad guys. Again, yeah, it just harkens back to, like, exploitation genres. and specifically Nazi occultism is its own genre, which is because there's so much of it. Like, I don't know. Like, I just didn't think hard about it. I think I just kept getting pleasantly surprised by like how far they kept trying to push things, and I was just so so unfazed by it. I was just like, okay, sure, Alucard is a girl now. Oh, okay, the butler's now like a child too. Sure, I don't know what's going on, but sure. I just keep nodding. It's like, sure.
You just believe in the vision.
Sure. Okay. And I'm willing to bet Crispin Freeman has used that voice for phone pranks, which would be a very good voice to use for phone pranks. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to say, with regards to, I assume all of you watched it dubbed, probably, right?
Yeah,
I had to.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. I thought that most of the people in that show were like really, really good for the dub, honestly. Like, I thought they were pretty acceptable,
they casted actual European performers too for most of the roles, except some.
However,
yes,
they got Joji Nocta for fucking Alucard in the Japanese version, and I had to, because that man is eating up every scene, like, all the time. So I had to watch it. Basically, what me and my wife did is we watched most of it dubbed, and then when it was an episode mostly focused on Alucard, we switched it to the sub.
Because he does kind of vanish for like
he went
most
to Brazil.
Of the middle. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just utterly insane show. It doesn't explain itself at all. Like it's crazy to me that, like, again, as resonating with some of the quotes, it's crazy to me how, like, you have, like, kind of the best, like, woman in this series, yet also you manage to do the weirdest things with the tertiary character, Sarah's Victoria, who is a main character in the original anime. It is crazy. Again, I keep emphasizing how fucking different those two series are. And it makes so much sense, because I think most people's perception of Hellsing is that original anime that had no Nazis in it whatsoever, so that completely changes what the premise and structure of that series was, and that's why Ultimate is super different. And people did not grow up with Ultimate. People grew up with Hellsing 2001. Not Hellsing Ultimate 2006 or whatever.
Someone did, but they grew up very slowly to match the pace of
they had a different so I don't know, I guess very different in a sense of, like, the boys who put Fight Club posters in college. I think I would be forgiving of the boys who put Hellsing posters in their bedroom, because they did not see Ultimate. They saw the original one, which was a way more serious, grounded episodic mystery series, and not this weird not this insane, like, what have you, crazy exploitation thing.
That's crazy. That's funny.
Right. Like, Sarah's actually has more outfits. She actually does she has so much screen time. There's an episode where she's just reconning. But she doesn't lose her arm. So that's the thing. I made a joke about, like, am I, like, what's wrong with me? I love the weird blood arm she gets when she loses her arm. But she doesn't get the blood arm in the original series. But yeah, it's crazy. They had to make up, like, a different villain organization. And I think sincerely it was just the cause and effect. Like, yeah, we don't want to do Nazis. That might be, like, bad. Let's just make up some
and then
other
they were like, Call of Duty
thing.
3, the big red one, came out.
Yeah,
so we can
yeah.
do Nazis now.
Yeah. Things changed between those 5 years somehow. And again, Hetalia was what came out. I would even draw comparisons to Black Butler. I don't.
Yeah.
In terms of weird, problematic stuff, like, not as bad as this, but, like, weird eroticization of, like, things you shouldn't.
I mean, at the very least in Hellsing, it is very much just like the actual text of the show, no matter how they are, kind of making them look cool here and there, it is still like, these people are scum and need to be wiped off the earth. Like, there's at least that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hetalia is just like, hee.
Tee-hee. Yeah, just tee-hee.
Yeah.
Again, as someone who didn't consume Ultimate, but did consume Hetalia in sincerity at that same time, I think we universally all like Alex Anderson. He's very funny. He's a very funny man. He's a very, very funny man.
This is the fucking.
I honestly kind of like. And I was just saying this to people. I was like, I love the weird JoJo rejects that are the Valentine brothers. I think there's something very funny about them, and I think it's sad that they were very short-lived. That said, it's really funny when one of them did come back, and he hated coming back for like 5 seconds. I thought they were very funny, and then I think it was just very funny how much their actors were really selling what they were doing. I forgot which ones, I mixed them up, but like, yeah, what with Jan or Luke being a shithead, and then the other one being like a more graceful kind of like kept together gentleman type personality. I did quite I don't know. There's just a lot of fun in this, and it was clear like at least the English voice actors had a lot of fun with this, and I think it's impressive they managed to bring them all back compared to the original series. So this might have been a very interesting reapproach that this was way different tonally. It's definitely not a series that says anything like at all. No. It really is just all flash and guns and stupid shit.
Yeah.
I think that's fine. I think that's okay for work like that to exist. Like I much rather have that than something that seems to say something more sincerely that is concerning, which has been mentioned already. I feel like we should have a counter every time Attack on Titan's mentioned every podcast episode, as much as we don't want to. But like something like Attack on Titan, which is like covert with what it's trying to say, and it's like, versus this being inherently just like, I have props here. I just want to make stupid shit, and sure, make stupid shit with your dolls. I have mentioned,
Verano, I do. I was just looking around on Wikipedia.
He did hentai before this, yeah. He is not someone who's like,
that for the references to historical characters, mythology, pop culture, he did not do specific research, saying that he is not someone with a lot of culture, but just an otaku. And that all the references came from what he had seen and read out of otaku passion.
I would say, in general, the man is a menace. I know he makes an immense amount of porn, and it's very obvious when you see this show and the body types that every character has.
Yeah. It's very clear what his preference is. I looked it up. He likes the read or die girls. He likes the girls that it like you look at the character designs and it's like, oh, that makes sense. And sadly that's why Saris is like the weird fan service, you know. And again, not any other woman in the series. It is so weird.
Integra is a different kind of fan service for me, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I don't think she was for him. But at least he made her cool.
Yeah.
At least he gave her that respect. And again, Sarah had no fan service. Yeah, something happened in the original anime that they're like, we can't do this. They had so much work on it that it is truly a different show, different series, if you will. But yeah, it is truly a trip. But I definitely would not recommend this to anyone. I think inherently, besides some of the content stuff that is like, and again, you have to be someone like some of us, as we're saying here, to kind of expect it is not to be taken seriously, and it can't be. But I also felt like from just a compositional perspective, it did. But again, I also am aware that like there were gaps. Again, this is one of the things in terms of like thinking about the intent of how a story should be consumed and the watching order of things, where I'm aware, there are gaps that were meant to be there between each episode, so to speak, that weren't present as we were watching this, or at least forced as we were watching this. So I felt like there were a lot of scenes that dragged out, right? I felt like there was a lot. There was just a lot of monologuing. Yeah, especially towards the last several episodes. It's like nothing's happening. It's doing the classic like dragging out monologuing thing, and it was just getting a little ridiculous. Where more could have been, I think, inserted, especially for like some confusing bits. Not to say that anything made sense, but there was a lot of like
It got really bad, like, in the second half with the major, like, especially in the last episode, like, dude seriously just talks for, like, 7 or 8 minutes.
And that was, like, a whole hour. Yeah, compared to the other, it was just, like, why?
He's trying to do, like, Joker streak, but it's like, dude, no, you're just, there's no plan.
Right.
The thing about a mangaka having no thoughts, that's fine. You can totally do that. But you cannot have, like, a brainiac in your
you can't have a Riddler.
You cannot. Yeah, you can't have the Riddler. You can't have some like multi-tiered plan of like, you're doing exactly as I had hoped for, because you'll kill me and the cycle of violence will continue. It's like, shut up.
Yeah, that said, I will give credit, like, there was effort to, and I guess because they were aware that they had longer paced episodes, like, and they were really trying to do the film thing, like, specifically the film thing, not the serialized TV. They were doing the film thing with some of the shots I noticed, and, like, yeah, some of them are, like, on the nose and a little corny, like, haha, that's a very obvious crucifix sign. Oh, wow, the wreckage looks like the, yeah, it looks like, yeah, the reference to, the crucifixion of Jesus, yeah, like these 3 crosses piercing from, anyway, like, but I sincerely thought a lot of shots were beautiful, like, weirdly, like, there was weird intent put into them, like, yeah, there's a lot of goofy ass shots of, like, the characters, because the art style, they're very long, yaoi ass hands, yaoi ass limbs, they really look silly sometimes walking through long stretches of hallways, but I noticed there was really legitimately good, like, background and, like, layout work in regards to them trying to do something weird and dynamic with how the shots were played out, like just showing characters at weird canted angles. Again, it adds to the goofiness, but at least it's interesting to look at. And yeah, it definitely gets, like, I think that gets negated though when, like, especially towards how, like, the monologuing got so bad and towards the end of the series. But yeah, overall though, it's not something I would recommend unless you're just going in knowing, like, okay, I can't take this seriously. Let alone not something you should take it on a rainy day. That said, yeah, the original anime series, it's cooking. It's really, and we did watch Boogie Pop Phantom, and I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I see it. I see that weird imprint on, like, series around that time of the weird, I guess, the gothic punk kind of aesthetic towards like very similar mystery serials around that time.
Hey,
and then the original Hellsing anime, like, took that, and yeah. Ultimate did not, and decided to be like, no, let's do something else. Let's actually cover the source material, which is crazy.
I mean, I gotta say, when your script is written by Konaka, yeah, I'm sure you're gonna lean into the mystery aspect of it.
Totally different series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel very similar to you, LV. Like, watching this reminded me of when I was, again, it reminded me a lot of being in middle school and knowing the kind of people that were into it. And also reminded me a lot of, like, high school and early college, where watched fucking Mad Dog 34, which is an old like exploitation show about 2 cops just fucking murking everybody and doing all kinds of crazy shit. And there's a, it's bad about women and probably a little racist too, if I remember correctly. But it's just so fucking stupid and it's so funny that I'm just like, I still have, like, a lot of fondness for it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just one of those things where, you just gotta be aware of stuff and be like, yeah, you know what? A lot of this stuff sucks and it's aged poorly, but also some of it's just dumb as hell, and I kind of love it. And we're all learning and growing, and it's fine to like things that are as problematic, as it were. It's fine, like
no,
I'm not signing off on any of this.
I will not sit here and be like, oh, I'm above Hellsing. Hell no. Are you kidding me? Look, again, it's more so that I did not meet it when I was, like, more in my formative shit.
Yeah.
And now...
Worse it, yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just like I met it and I'm like, yeah, no, I see what it's going on here.
You dodged a bullet when you really didn't need it at that point in your life.
It's of its time. It's of its time in many, many ways. Like, positive, negative, everything. It's just like, it was cool to see something of that era. It was a fun watch. Definitely, like, it was the kind of thing where, like, I started to look at, like, fan art after I was watching it, because I was just like, yeah, like, this is cool. Like, some of this stuff is cool. Like, people are just drawing Alucard doing cool stuff. People are also drawing just dumb jokes. Like, just seeing people drawing, like, like memes with fucking Alucard in it and shit, and I was just like, yeah, like, that's funny. I'm glad to
He's
to
just
get
always
this joke.
smiling. He's always smiling.
He's got that grin, dude. It's
I
great.
got
love
that
it.
grin.
No,
He's got
it's
that
great
teeth.
every single time. for real.
Alucard is a great character. Again, anytime Anderson is on screen, I just
Yeah.
immediately have the House of Pain instrumental just in the background.
It's so good.
This you can make a drinking game out of shit. Again, I don't recommend. You'll just die because every character with glasses, they always got the lens flare. You never see
That's
their eyes.
great.
Every character with glasses has
that's
a Gendo moment.
Again, like, he knows his shit when it comes to, like, designs. He knows his shit when it comes to just, like, things that would, like... there's definitely a good feel when you have, like, eventual payoff on stuff. And I think, like, that works itself out. Just... there are moments where it tries to be more than that, and it's like, dog, it's not that I'm, like... again, I'm not upset about it. It's more just like, all right, I'm lost.
There was that one episode that was really good that I think had the double punch of the Anderson and Alucard in the museum just talking at each other while their handlers are arguing, and then that episode also has the video call, I think, from the Major. Where Alucard is just there smiling in the background. He's like, "Oh, I'm glad your stupid vampire is loving this so much," and he's just like, "Oh, it's so good," or whatever. Like, just like fucking stupid ass. There are a lot of things in this show that I was like, man, they were cooking. Like Alucard's whole eye thing in general, his whole like Castlevania Symphony of the Night ass, all transformations at once. Sludge explosion.
Right,
It's awesome.
that was really confusing. I was like, I got it. It's like, why?
It happened.
There's no reason for that to be in there, and they never really properly
It's
unpack
in there because it
and
owns.
It's the funniest. It's the funniest. Also, I forgot to mention, I bothered to watch the little prequel. I think it's called Hellsing the Dawn.
Mm-hmm.
Don't watch it. It is useless. It explains absolutely nothing. In fact, you'll just be more confused. It just wants to show more like airtime when girly card, as some in the fandom apparently call it girly card, and then what's his name? Yeah, young boyish Walter. It doesn't add or explain anything new, but it exists. And like at the end, it just go, literally, I'm not kidding you. It just at the end, like they're basically, it's like, what happened to these two characters during World War II? How did it, but it doesn't explain anything new that Ultimate already kind of goes into. It's like, okay. At the end, they just randomly are like, so what's happening in Japan? And it's literally, I think, promotion for, like, the creator's other series that has never been adapted anyway ever since. Like, I don't know, like, it's called The Drifters, which is a totally different premise, but basically a bunch of, like, historical samurai got isekai'd into the modern world, and there's magic. That's, like, basically what I understand. But it, for no reason, just cuts to that. Like, it was so insane. Like, I think it was one of those short anime, like, promotional add-ons, I think. Like, if you bought the Blu-ray, like, okay, here's this weird thing. You don't need to watch it, but hey. So I guess it was partly a commercial to begin with, but it was just so strange. Like, and yeah, it's hard to tell. I'm not saying it's hard. Like, again, like, I in sincerity think, like, they knew, like, this series was funny. Like, in sincerity, they're like, yeah, this is, like, really hammy and just goofy. We're just running with it straight. But there sincerely are, like, other moments where it's like, what is this fan service for?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. Like, as you were saying, like, Sarah's is weird. But stuff like, when, Integra is just, like, feeding blood. Like, whoa, okay, who's...
I'm telling you, yeah, like...
Well, no, that would
She's
make
like,
sense.
That's
she's
what I'm
so
saying.
handsome.
Like, when
It's like, what...
there is a
There's I have so
in here.
Yeah, I have so many questions over the push and pull, like, of what's going on behind the team, right? I was like,
Yeah.
Someone did that for themselves, and thank you.
I will say, whoever decided Sarah should make the stupidest face ever all the time, like just a million different
She's
stupid
always
fucking
chibi.
faces, like genius,
Yeah.
clap, no critique. You did it.
Yeah, it's a dumb show. But
It's an insane show. I think I was thinking of it like similarly, like we had the same mindset of Hellgirl, right? So stupid. I like Hellgirl
I
more.
wish it were... That's where I'm at. There's just too much in Hellgirl that I'm like, oh, this rules. And I think, like, part of it is that it is kind of contained by its, like, TV 14...
Yeah.
like, it has a... it
has a
confined
limiter.
space to play with. Yeah, exactly. And, even in the dub space where you'll be able to be like, oh, you think I'm a bitch? You think I'm a piece of shit?
Yeah.
Like it still has fun with what it can do because it has to like skirt around very particular sensors.
Yeah. And I also just, in general, I loved every single time they use this, the he does the square with his fingers.
Oh, yeah.
That's great.
And the eye.
The eye, yeah.
His weird eye cloud.
And it's just like that.
He's releasing his limiter.
That frame is great because it reminds me of in Hellgirl when she does her little bit every single time with her kimono and like lifts it up and like it's like that's great, but that only happens like 4 times. And it's like, give me more.
It's like I forget.
I think the original anime will get that itch. It's again because it's more episodic. I feel like Crispin Freeman has a little better quips because it is more serious in sincerity. It might feed that itch, but I don't know. I think it's something worth checking out for the whole girl itch. If you're not looking at it, like
Dog,
really...
like I forget that bit in the show where he just possesses a fighter jet.
Yeah, he does.
How do you manage to make me forget that? That should normally own and kick ass.
No, I totally get what you mean. I feel the same way. I love edgy bullshit, but there's just
again, it's not that it's bad, but it's like how do you manage to make it miss marks for me that should be hits?
Yeah, that's how I feel as well.
Direct, like it's stupid that I have to remind myself.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He possesses a fighter pilot and then just, like, demolishes fucking Rip Van Winkle.
Yeah, I think I really laughed the most at the ending when he had to fade away for a bit and just fuck off for several years. I really laughed at that. And I was like, damn. That's what sucking Nazi blood does to a motherfucker. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. Oh.
When you throw Catboy in the mix, shit just does not.
A Nazi cowboy specifically.
Yeah.
That kills a man.
The best laugh I got was looking up Schrödinger cosplay. Accurate.
No.
Oh no.
Some of them replace it with like a Japanese symbol or like a kanji character, I guess.
No.
But no, it's funny how much of them get really accurate.
No, they just walked away back then.
Shaking my damn head.
Oh my god.
I need to interview those people. Just like
where are you now? Yes.
How was it at the con? Like, did people know? God. Just 2004, like 2006 to 2012, showing up to the con, and it's like you're having heads are turning in some way.
Oh boy.
Because you decided you need to make a show accurate cosplay of the Nazi Catboy.
God, that fucking Catboy is all over the major. Like, I'm just sitting there like, man, they're really going for it, huh?
That's crazy.
They're truly on one.
They were on a lot of things when they made this stuff, and that's why it took 6 years.
I read somewhere that like part of again the mangaka's vision at some point is like, oh yeah, Heinkel, skirts this line of gender. I probably was going to have them be intersex in the story, and I'm just sitting there thinking, I'm glad you never had to try
I'm really glad.
thread that needle.
I'm really glad that did not happen. I like the opening credits every time. I thought it was swag.
Fun ways to draw the blood, yeah.
Is there anything else that we want to go over? Or we
I was trying to think. I don't think so. I think that what else can you say that we haven't said in the last 50 minutes? Like
there's one question related to it.
Okay, yeah.
That's all. I guess to close it off.
That works.
All right. So Beryl assigned this show. And I actually, I did talk to Beryl a little bit. Again, friend of ours. Basically was just like telling me like, yeah, Rip Van Winkle in this show kind of like set me on a path. was what Beryl was saying.
Oh no.
So this question is, who's your Hellsing wife of choice? All choices are immoral, of course, but you must choose nonetheless. Yes, mine is Rip Van Winkle, hands off. So yeah, Beryl is very Beryl's into Rip Van Winkle for the show. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really like.
You don't register the characters in any like
No, I
approachable
don't.
concept.
No, I'm just like these are just guns,
They're
basically.
Looney
Like,
Tunes.
yeah.
Yeah, like every woman in this show gets clapped so quick.
I will say, Integra
if they're not Sarah's.
is who I would say, just because Integra
Yeah, exactly.
is so sick. She's just so awesome.
She's the only-
This fucking
yeah,
scene
she's-
where she makes Anderson walk her home is like awesome. It's great. That's what it's all about.
I wish
but-
she had more to
Yeah,
do. It
I
just
agree.
feel that when you are presented as like, you know, the ancestor of the famous vampire hunter, it just feels like you lose some of that sway, or like some of that like there was something lost, it felt.
Like, yeah, in the epilogue they showed her fencing like in her middle age, and like they didn't show her like do any of that.
They
the rest of the
occasionally show her with a
series?
sword, but then it's like, no, you know, we'll approach this with other shows this season that are about like, you know, killing the spookies, but like, you know, there's. I feel like she could have had more done. Like that
Oh,
probably
yeah.
would be my answer. Easy pick is Sarah's. She's cute.
I mean,
Like that's.
I will say for Integra, I could kind of see what they were doing in that they were maybe trying to do like a less is more approach. Like I don't think it worked, but I think they were very much just like, oh, she's so badass, she doesn't really got to do that much. She's just got to be like, oh, Alucard, you go fix it for me, like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
that's what I felt like it was doing.
She's an outstanding human. Like she refuses to become a vampire. She refuses to deal with that shit. And she's aware of her position as being a powerful young woman, and yeah, like there was so much to weirdly unpack that it just didn't throughout how absurd the rest of the series is, where like she's aging and she's like, oh shit, I'm aging. Like she realized she's aging, and there is this blip in the series. I feel like that very intentional pause where she wonders, oh, maybe I should become a vampire and continue living on, knowing that Hellsing will end here because I will pass on, and it's going to be passed on to some third party or whatever, you know, and like and it's like, wow, where was that the rest of the series? Like they had so much in there, and like that services as to why she's such a cool, interesting character, because she is human. She's extraordinary because she's human and wants to be a human, and doesn't want to mess around with that.
Yeah, again, it's like, you know, you have these parallels. Hell, like there could have been so much more done with Walter also.
Oh
where
yeah.
him being like the only other like human at this point, and then you sort of see, you know, well, I guess it's Integra, Walter, and Pip, who are like, listen, did Yuri Lowenthal French jump scare that? The fear of God. But like, yeah, you know, and then of course the people that are part of like the Catholics, the hyper Catholics, but
Yeah.
again, they get clapped.
The mega Catholics, yeah.
They get clapped so quick. And so I just think that it'd be cool if, you know, she just always had like some holy water on her. She always
Yeah.
You are the descendant of fucking Wolfgang von Helsing. Like, you cannot tell me that there is not an iteration of that where you are not always like prepped in some capacity. That's
She
like
should-
being the John Wick of vampires.
She should have just like a spray bottle, so if Alucard gets really
Exactly.
testy,
Just-
she's just like, down boy.
That is all I would ask. Like, literally just being able to have, like, you know, again, if the Major wanted to do this, like, you know, one-upsmanship, I wouldn't mind if she was able to, like, play along with that, or, like, show that there is that level there, where it just, again, feels more like this robot dude just talking at you, and it's like, shut up. But then it'll be like, you lured into my violence trap.
And it's like, all right, man.
All right, man, whatever. Loser who didn't choose to drink blood.
All right. Yeah, I think we've discussed the show all the way through. What else do we want to talk about?
Oh, I don't know. I was thinking. Let me think about this. We could just
Anime
Well,
of some sort?
we have everyone all here, right? Right now, like the discussion has been all of us currently at the moment.
Yeah.
So why not just keep going? Undead Murder Farce.
Okay.
Who's caught up? I think I am. I'm maybe one episode behind. I don't know.
I just caught up today. I lied about not catching up before.
That's what I expect from you.
I'm sorry, I get time on my hands.
I know. I feel like every time you've ever said, like, I don't know if I'll have time, you always somehow have the time. Like, every single time. You're a hero is what I'm saying.
Yeah, a hero of poor management choices. But I mean, I assume we all finished, like, the episodes 5 through 8.
Yeah. I did, at least.
Oh, yeah,
Did
yeah.
you, John?
Let me check. I think
With
I
the
did.
the heist. The diamond heist.
Yes, I did finish. That was
Okay.
that was what I watched. Yes.
Okay.
Once again, shout out to Chiaki Konaka today.
Yeah,
Ever-present force.
If we're talking about jump scares, that was the one.
But then it was fine.
Yeah, it was just a really good. Like, I cheered at the last, like, at the end credits of, like, of episode 8, where he's like, all right, where Moriarty, I get to say the sentence, where Moriarty asks Jack the Ripper to show him the diamond. And then he's like, sure. And then he, like, looks, that was a Mission Impossible style, you know, that just felt like such a good callback to just, like, you know, what's a classic one-upsmanship of, like, the villains, and just really fun. It's such a fun show.
Like, yeah, I say this every fucking episode, so I'm sorry, but, like, straight up, like, it being a novel adaptation, like, is just really informing the way that they animate it, and I love it every single time. Like, you can just tell, like, the way that they're structuring scenes and, like, the storyboarding is entirely based on the flowery, like, language behind the words in the novel itself.
Right.
And it's just like, just stuff like the fight when he fights Jack the Ripper, and it's just, like, mostly him getting the shit beat out of him, but he's like throwing shit around and, like, grabbing the thing in the sleight of hand and everything. That it's just, like, that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Like, that's the type of fight scene that you write, you know, like, not draw and write, you write, and it's really cool. It's just really cool. I like it a lot.
Yep.
I really like yeah. The current arc is, I think maybe you are you caught up on that, LV? Have you been?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so I'm like I
most
said, I'm
recent
one
arc.
behind, but the werewolf stuff
Okay.
is similarly, like, yeah, like, this is a good little self-contained thing to do, like, literal werewolf. You know, the game.
Literal werewolf, and it's still building off of, like, what happened in the last arc, where, you know, we still have to deal with the diamonds, but we just know that, this is leading us into, like, the realm of the vampires, because that is part of
The werewolf.
Moriarty's plan to have, like, the super soldier ready.
Yeah. I also loved when they see Moriarty and Sherlock Holmes goes, "My God," and then it cuts to the waterfalls or whatever for a split second. I'm like, yeah. He fell off that waterfall.
Yeah, he did. And he got better.
I really liked the just completely out of nowhere random line where Shizuka is like, "I'm used to the super sexy head fucking me," or whatever.
Yeah, that was
It's like,
insane. I was
what? I really liked Aleister Crowley. Great stuff. Great. It just. It's just a good show. Yeah, I don't really know
It's
what else
fun.
we can say about it. It's just fun.
It's fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's like it's not like the most cerebral thing ever. Like it is to an extent the same thing of Fate of like, hey, you know this, but it's like they do know it, and I think that's what makes the difference between like a lot of these isekai and all these other fantasy things where they just invoke the name meaninglessly. Like, oh yeah, here's Balmung, and it's like, yeah, what is Balmung? It's just a dragon, whatever. And it's like they didn't read about what Balmung was, you know? Like actually, whereas this feels like, no, I read all this shit, so I know exactly how Sherlock Holmes should act, how Lupin should act, how like Phantom of the Opera should be. I like he's not just insane, he's just weird. Like it's such a awareness that, and also just the Rakugo's great. It's just utilized good every single time. Like when they're walking up the mountain trail towards the werewolf village, and he just starts going off about the mountain story. He sucks so much. He sucks so much. I love how much he sucks.
I know, it also is just good to have like a mystery show actually understand the way to write its mysteries.
Yeah, like as someone who's been watching a lot of Murder, She Wrote and such, like it hits all the same beats straight up, like genuinely. Like you could, I'd say you could slot like 2 episodes of this into a Murder, She Wrote episode, and it's like functionally identical. As silly as that is to say, like they cover all the same bases of like doing the character work, like establishing like, you know, the events that you would need to think about to make the mystery more compelling and stuff like that. Like, even if the mysteries themselves don't end up being like the type of thing that you can intuit, it's the logic is all there for the character to like introduce their own knowledge points into.
It all works in the universe that it's created.
Yeah.
And just feels very cohesive.
It's great. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what else we could say about it. It's just good.
I mean, at this point, I'm getting like those bits where it's like the OST is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first time I listened to the opening, I was like, this is fine. But now every time I'm like, this owns. I love this.
The ED has really like grown on me.
Yeah, that too. Well, I think the thing was also like they weren't playing the ending for like a lot of the show. Like there was a lot of episodes that just go straight to the credits and they play it like softly in the background or whatever.
Right.
But yeah, once I got to episode 5, I was like, has there always been an ending? It's pretty good. And yeah, just the incidental music, pretty good as well. Yeah, great show. If you're not watching it, I'm just saying you should. It's very easy to watch. I think I said this about the first couple episodes, but like the pacing is immaculate. Like an episode finishes and you just want more.
Yeah.
We had joked about wanting to like do a group watch of
Should have done this. Well, we are doing it. So
pastry, but yeah, no, we've just accidentally like it's peak.
Yeah, it is
peak.gif.
No, yeah, I'm so behind on pastry.
I've not started it at all.
Yeah, I didn't. Again, we found a good show. Not to leave
We
LV in
stumbled
the
into
lurch.
a really good show.
Yeah. You know, LV, I do want to hear about. I've said this before the show to you. Is it gene of AI or I? Is it supposed to be like a double?
I think it's supposed to be gene of AI.
Okay, that's what I figured.
But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some wordplay here where it could also be read that way. But it inherently is a show about like AI, light sci-fi, robotics, etc. So we'll see. It is crazy to me that you go on the Wikipedia page of this series and there's no plot summary at all. The anime has been like going for a bit. No one has decided to just at least copy and paste a synopsis somewhere to put it on the Wikipedia page. That is very unheard of in this day and age. That's very strange. That said, it's based on a manga that is. Oh, that's finished. It's a manga series that has finished. So there's like 8 volumes of the manga. So I don't know if the anime will go into that, but it's a somewhat episodic anime. You know, it's somewhat episodic where it's centered around a doctor, quote unquote, who treats both robots, humans, and humanoids. So there's a weird. This is gonna be confusing, I assure you. So I'm gonna get into it. This is a world that is, again, think of like any cyberpunk or like sci-fi thing that's been coming out or like popularized the last several years. This is a world where a lot of human beings have done augmentation, cybernetic modification, or complete alteration of their bodies with some sort of technology or, robotic, implementation. And then also at the same time running around, there's like a bunch of like full-on robots, like full-on androids that like look like humans. And then, and then there's just robots that, anyway, like artificial intelligence is like, advanced, and it's very much like intertwined with the human population. So I think it's interesting the series came out now in such a way where that's kind of like a weird conversation society is having at the moment. Which I don't know if I don't think they foresaw that whatsoever, depending on how long this series was in production. But that said, yeah, so it's framed and centered around a doctor who treats these sort of different cases. And there's like and there's a whole thing where he technically is practicing illegally. Right. And he, like, some of his practices are a little questionable about, going as far of what he's supposed to be allowed to do. And he's, like, a little known notoriously in the black market and the underground over, like, oh, did you hear this guy? He totally, wiped someone's brain. It's, all these things. And so far it's not really selling that well, I think. As I will go into, but there's also this underlying subplot going on with his own backstory where his mom is in jail. So there's some moments where he's visiting his mom and being held in prison, and he's like having his like 1 hour phone call with her, talking to her through the screen, talking to her through the glass. And they're being very they're not showing much yet over like what's going on, but she went to jail for some sort of robot crime, we don't know of yet. And it seems like this doctor, his name is Dr. Hikaru, his real name. It seems like he doesn't even know what's going on. There seems to be something tied to his childhood. It's also a little ambiguous too over like whether or not he's human or he has some sort of cybernetic modification. But yeah, there's some sort of underlying thing going on that's tied to why he probably became a doctor to begin with. But yeah, again, it's an episodic format series, so there's like different cases he deals with. And even more confusingly, there's sometimes like other plots interstitched with the cases that have nothing to do with them, but they kind of parallel in the same theme. A great example of this, because I thought it was a very memorable episode, because I was like, LOL, Absolute Boyfriend did this. The episode starts off where this woman has a nightmare murdering this robot. And it turns out she was renting this boyfriend robot. And she's having anxiety over it because she realizes, oh my god, I actually fell in love with him, but I feel conflicted because I know he's just programmed to be the way he is. His love is not real. She eventually tries to get into a real relationship. And yeah, it's a whole thing where like she ends up going to the doctor to just say like, I need your help. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not a therapist technically. Like, which ruled, honestly. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I can't fix your broken heart. He didn't say it verbatim, but that's basically what he was saying. She doesn't know. Yeah. And yeah. She was like, I don't know if I want to rent him again, etc. The robot's name is Joe. The rental boyfriend, his name is Joe. But I was like, okay, yeah, that was a boyfriend plot. And yeah, she had some nightmare stressing over murdering him. And yeah, she eventually lets him go when she tries to move on to the human relationship. But it ends in a weird, sad, kind of ambiguous note over whether or not she gets over it, And it shows the robot, like, being used for another customer. His memories had reset. But at the same time, the real case in the episode is the doctor helping this boy's, like, robot teddy bear, who he has also grown attached to. And if you've seen Steven Spielberg's Artificial Intelligence, this episode is all of those references. The weird rentable boyfriend. in artificial intelligence, it was a sex worker robot, and then the teddy bear. So that was like very apparent to me. I was like, well, okay, that's a little weird. But anyway, like the main case was him helping and trying to repair this teddy bear. They make a joke over like, I'm not a toy shop and stuff, but like he nonetheless does it. But the teddy bear keeps going haywire to the point where the mom is very irritated by it. Like, she feels like her child's getting too attached to the teddy bear, which she knows is a robot. But she, too, is feeling like, I don't know, does the teddy bear have real feelings? Do robots have real feelings? I don't know. And her kid is, like, very attached. And there's this weird, unnerving thing that slowly reveals the teddy bear was actually used. Does the teddy bear have memories of its past owner? The teddy bear eventually gets run over by a car.
Oh, shit.
And then the doctor, that's not completely fixes the teddy bear. The teddy bear just needed to be completely destroyed to stop having these malfunctioning issues. And it turns out they found out the complete memories of the teddy bear to find out the original owner, who was a different child that died years ago. So they visit the memorial shrine of that child. They managed to find her information and visit her and pay her respects by lighting incense and what have you. And, the mom is like, again, the mom who was pissed and almost regretted having this teddy bear because it kept, she finds it annoying. She suddenly has this moment of like, I don't know, baby robots do have feelings. And it was just, but every episode is like that. They have two different parallel stories. And this indicates being of like, do robots have feelings? Can I love a robot? I don't know. But then, it just feels weird. Like, and it's also kind of confusing. There's another episode where it didn't even have that intertwined plot. Well, actually, this was the second episode. So the second episode, like, just decides to introduce a trans character, and she's, like, cool. In the subtitles I'm watching, they say she, but she's like a close friend of the doctor from a long time ago, and he's just helping her out. He's just checking her vitals and stuff. And again, she transitioned through the help of like cybernetics, through the help of like augmentations. But they say explicitly in the series, like, she doesn't see herself, she sees herself beyond gender, but they use she that nonetheless. But then they have this thing going on with her where she enters, I don't even know how to explain it. It's tied to his backstory, but at the same time, there's this other story of like this student athlete who's pissed that he like basically peaked because he has cybernetic parts compared to his all natural human friend. He's on the track team, and he's upset that like he, compared to his human friend, like he can't naturally grow. He has to replace his parts. He feels like he has some sort of imposter syndrome going on, that knowing most of his body is just cybernetic parts. And then his friend eventually actually breaks his leg, and he feels guilty over the fact that, like, my body can easily be repaired, but human body can't, like that. And he almost quits racing, but then is inspired by that, I guess. That his human friend is mortal and he's not. I don't know. It's just very strange. Like, the series is very strange, and like, it has different concepts that are very interesting, but how it executes them is very strange and I don't know, kind of unfulfilled too. Like, again, thinking about back to what I'm calling the rental boyfriend story. It was just very strange. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I feel like it keeps lingering on these plots, these different subplots in this world, but it doesn't really say anything new, I think. And it also, I think, I don't know how much of it is tying to the bigger thing at hand, like what's going on with the doctor. Yeah, it's a very strange series. I don't, like, you might see it rated low, and I don't think that's that unfair, because I kind of feel the same way. Like, it's like one of those series that feels mid right now. I don't know. I feel like there's, like, some, like, I don't know. I feel like there's some, like, lack of, like, world building going on, too. To me, it feels way too insular right now with, like, some of the greater things going on with the world at stake. Like, there was, like, a brief moment of, like, in the first episode when they were kind of explaining the setup, like, one of the patient, like, yeah, again, this is just like throwaway patient. It's not a full story, but like, there's a child that comes in to get his first implant. It is very common in this world now that most kids just get an implant. Like, people don't use computers; they just use their implants or whatever to browse online, etc. And yeah, the kid gets his implant, etc. And then he immediately logs on just to, like, I don't know, play Fortnite with his friends or something. I don't know what's going on there. It was some sort of, like, bullet hell game. It was a little weird. But it doesn't really take a moment to unpack things like that. And doesn't really, like, yeah. I don't know. It's very weird. Also, the opening's insane. because there's like a 3D like fetus baby that just
I mean, as you do for robot
a very weird
allegory.
a very weird realistic medical animation 3D fetus baby thing that stares at the viewer and floats. So it's very funny. It doesn't. It's like what's going.
This is just and I'm not perfect.
I think the baby's supposed to be the doctor. Again, that's tied into the unveiling of what's going on. Like, what's going on with his thing? But yeah, it's a weird series, and not for a good reason. I think it's weird because I feel like it's being executed in a weird way. I don't know. It's just something about it feels off, and not because of and not often a transhuman aspect of like what is human or what is robot. No, it's off because it's just off. Like there's something weird about this series that rubs me the wrong way for some reason. If that is what you've been curious about, Rose,
it is. I know you were interested. I've seen a lot of posting about it, especially recently with like the lobotomizing episode.
Yes. Okay. Oh my God. That was the most recent episode. I said, "Holy crap! How did I forget about that?" See, it's what. Yeah. That was insane. Yeah. Like again, stuff like that. They don't unpack it, really, or take time to be like, well, sometimes you gotta do that. Yeah. So anyway, that episode has a lot. So the two stories in that episode, the theme was around the ethics of like lobotomizing someone or modifying someone's brain for the greater, like for a good purpose. So there's like, okay. Very quickly, so I could stop talking about this insane series. Not to say we have already talked about insane series at the top of this episode, but there's a child with clearly a lot of anger issues, like mood disorders. He's to me, he immediately came off as like he might be on the spectrum. He might have like neurodiversity issues that can be addressed naturally, like through behavioral therapy. Like, does that still exist in this world? Like, what's going on? Like through a child therapist, what's happening? But he loves piano playing. He's a prodigy at it. Like again, that reads to me like he has a hyperfixation. He probably has something going on in his head that can be fixed through therapy. Who's to say? So he goes to the doctor, and his mom's like, "We need to fix his brain." He's like violent with his friends. He can't make friends. He's beating up the kids, and like they just go with it. That's like allegedly it's not a happy outcome. They don't say it's a happy outcome, but that's the outcome they go with. Like he fixes his brain somehow. They don't show how. Like, does he have a chip in him? I don't know. But now the kid is more calmer and stuff. And he's still good at piano playing, but they say this ominous thing being like, but my piano playing doesn't feel the same as it was. And it's like, okay.
That really feels like...
Sure, you just lobotomize that child. And then the parallel story going on with that, I don't even remember because that was a blur. The kid getting lobotomized really took me out. But like the parallel story going on was this dad and a family has some sort of memory issue and they altered his memories to fix the problem. Yeah, that was just weird. I don't remember that other one, but yeah, the kid being lobotomized was fucking crazy. It was like,
it just like all the things that I was reading about was people talking about like the other half or whatever being like about some pining woman or whatever who has whatever. But it's
the nurse
something I don't. They were saying like
he has a nurse that's horny for him all the time, and he like ignores her. Obviously,
no, that there was like a I don't know. I don't know entirely, so I don't want to say the wrong thing necessarily, but I'll say like the thing that I heard was people saying like weird, like half, like it makes sense for these types of things, but at a certain point it just feels like the David Cage move. Level of
I'm just showing and not really thinking about it.
Autism. Yeah. What if you removed it? Would they still be cool? And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why are we removing it?
There was a really
great, except for the part of him that makes him think about everything. And I just want to rearrange that part, but keep everything else.
Like on a certain level, like I like the idea of like they just have to go through with it because the parent says, because that's totally realistic for like child care and stuff like that. But it does sound like it's maybe less than half baked in that respect, or at least very not well read.
It feels. Yeah, it feels like the doctor doesn't really have a say in anything, like in anything he does. He's very much like, they start off with the episode where he's just like, yeah, this is how the world is, etc. And it seems to imply like he hates what he's doing, but they don't really unpack it. They don't do anything with him like seem like having hesitation over what's going on. He's a little too flat in terms of like his reaction to all the cases he handles and the people he encounters. And again, like, not all of these stories are just cases. These are people he just happens to run into in the neighborhood. It's one of those kind of things with a big cast. Kind of like a soap opera in a way, like, right? Like, there's usually not regular, sometimes there's not regular characters. There's like, oh yeah, they all live in the same city, or they all go to the same hospital, like how General Hospital works, right? But yeah, it's very strange.
It's funny what this sounds like is like this like weird advancement of like, Western medicine into robotics and cybernetics.
Yeah.
But they miss the part that involves mental health care.
Right. I feel like there's like I think it's getting to there in regards to like talking about ethics, but that's a huge missing thing here. It's like where there's no waxing philosophical about the ethics of what is going on beyond, it's just what it is.
Because one of these episodes, I assume, would be like, oh yeah, I go to my robotherapist and I get fed the algorithm to make me happier.
Yeah.
Or, but that is like a genuine conversation to have, to the point that it's like, a Jacob Geller essay of like, this isn't a solution, but the technology isn't the issue so much as the systems that drive the technology. But that's me asking for thought and narrative in a pretty funny concept instead of whatever it seems the gene of AI is doing.
Mm-hmm. One funny story was like, basically, it's funny in a dark way, but again, this is like, a classic cyberpunk thing. You would probably, again, see this. You have seen some version of the story anyway, but there's like a weird, creepy, like, game where a guy made a virtual girlfriend based off of the data of like a girl he liked. So the virtual girlfriend, who basically became a hologram too, that he can actually interact with and like hang around him in an actual physical space. Yeah, looks like this girl he has a crush with, but of course he also like kind of programmed her personality to kind of like him. Eventually he actually makes his way to like get to know the actual girl. And they actually start to have a date. But then he accidentally calls her the name of the virtual girlfriend, and then the real girl realizes, wait, like that video, and I guess the video game's popular and known in the mainstream as like this creepy game that takes people's data and makes fake like partner. So that, which leads into another question of like, what is the context of this game in this world and that exists that people know about it, but no one's doing anything? I don't get it. So anyway, she breaks up with him, which is like, oh, that fucking sucks. It is kind of funny, but like, yeah, that fucking sucks. She breaks up with him because she realizes, oh shit, he was a creep to me this whole time and made a fake version of me out of my data somehow. And yeah, and then at the end, he's like sad in his room, but then the hologram fake girlfriend comes back to him saying, like, oh, I'm always here for you. And it just ends. And it's like,
I liked Me. I thought that was a pretty amazing
it's
video.
Just, yeah. It's a strange one. Yeah, it's a strange series. I don't know where it's going to lead up to. I don't know what's going to.
It's crazy to me these original series get made is all I can think all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't hate it or anything. I'm just like, who is bankrolling this?
Yeah, it's like fine, but again, it's
odd.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt the same way about that one years ago. That's not the same concept, but it gave me the same vibes. Oh, I fucking mentioned it. It was it a Mappa original? It was like the one that was let me see. Figure it out while you sorry to interrupt. Just say that even though I don't know what the fuck it's called. It was like a Somnium type file thing. Maybe it wasn't Mappa. Do you know what I'm talking about? You probably don't. I'm probably the only one who remembers.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It was like Inception. He went in Mind Palaces to solve like
Inspector.
No, that's the other
Inspector's
one.
a different thing we have qualms about.
But it's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like this was from like what, 2020? It Invaded?
It Invaded, thank you. It Invaded.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, you were the one who watched. Yeah, you watched.
It just gives me the same vibes. It's like, this is such a weird.
There's something in here, but it's not.
Yeah. Same thing. This is very odd.
It's trying to cook, but it's not cooking well. It's somehow not following the instructions carefully, right? It's like this insane like recipes where people replace ingredients and they're shocked at why it turned out bad. Someone putting carrots instead. Someone replacing the carrots with cucumbers in a carrot cake.
Very, very weird though that these shows, like, I want to see the production meetings where they're like, because it's like you just read so much about like so many anime that don't get through the door that are like slam dunk obvious choices, and then it's like, who do these people know? Who are they getting? Like It Invaded was like, I think bankrolled partially by Crunchyroll, and it's like, why? Like, it makes sense to do Shield Hero because you guys are freaks, but I.
And again, pointing to the beginning, as I was saying, there is no synopsis for the plot of the the page at all. So I'm like, this is not that well known. I don't know if the manga was like a big seller, or there's a high interest in terms of publisher interest. It's again, just very weird how some things get chosen to be adapted to, and marketed. And there's no plans right now I haven't seen any localization plans for the manga series either. Again, which is complete, and that would be like, oh, okay, but so. Maybe it's using the anime to, like, gauge that, right? Like, oh, should we bring it to North America and translate it? But I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't even know the anime's, like... I don't think the anime's in the high rankings in terms of the season right now so far. So.
I think it was doing okay, but it's a bad season, so what does that mean? You know, not to be mean to it, but, like, there's not much going on out there. Like, what, people are watching Mushoku Tensei?
Oh, yeah.
Some people, other people, are watching Other Peak.
Yeah? What is Other Peak, Maverick? I'm sorry if that wasn't a lead-in you wanted.
No. I mean, recently, again, in another surprise, I just managed to crush this in a day endeavor. I caught up with Bang Dream. It's MyGO.
Oh my goodness!
The anime that was announced for part of the Bang Dream franchise, Bandori,
which I am very familiar with. I know a lot about the original, at least, and no idea what this is.
Yeah, no, another one of those an iteration of this Bushiroad gacha game, but this was created for I guess a new band that's been introduced into the
Pantheon.
The Pantheon.
So many bands. The Bandion, if you will.
They've got a live band. They've got, like, character art of what's there. And then taking that into, this whole little production. But, okay, yeah. So they're going to be added into the girls' band party this fall. So this is sort of like a nice little like lead into like, here are these characters. But this is all to say that like if you had expectations of like, a gacha game moe group anime, the expectations probably are pretty low. But for whatever reason, it seems like the people in charge are Sanzigen, I believe is what it is, who have also done like the D for DJ anime that I've heard like, pretty favorable things about. They've done some work on other just a bunch of other stuff, and it seems like this managed to be one that like worked out. It's all 3D CGI, and so it's interesting to see. And I'm trying to see if there's like more information. So they're telling me about the very specific seasons here on the Wikipedia. Okay, Kodaki Kakimoto is the director, and then Yuniko Ayana, who, if I could find something about and just see what they've done in the past. But this is just really like, it's just well done drama. Mm-hmm. It is a surprisingly well done drama series about people that are in a band, and the whole conceit is, okay, I've got you've got this group of friends in middle school who are a part of a band trying to get things set up, and then conflicts arise, and they're like, I don't want to be in the band anymore. And cut to high school. One of these friends has a couple of these friends have gone to separate like high schools, They're getting things started. In one of these high schools, the shy singer of the group won, and oh my god, this is what happens when I click out of the Wikipedias. It's fine. Takamatsu Tomori, a very timid, shy girl who is the original band Kreishik, I believe is what it was.
Kreishik.
Yeah, Kreishik. So originally part of the band Kreishik in middle school, acted as a vocalist and lyricist. After their first and only live performance, the band broke up, leaving Tomori in a distraught and broken state, and she kept blaming herself for the band's breakup. She is, in high school now, and happens to be upon the path of Chihaya Anon, a girl who is as self-absorbed as anyone could possibly be, and it's great and it rules. We love just the worst person you could find in high school who decides, I want to be in a band, and I want to go ahead and, make up a band. Oh, does this girl make lyrics? All right, yeah, you should be part of my band. Let's figure it out. Eventually ends up meeting with some former band members from Kreishik, including, not that one, Nagasaki Soyo, who is the former bassist and is sort of like the trying to maintain like peacekeeper, trying to like be on everyone's good side. And then Shinataki, someone who is the drummer, and another. It's like 3 separate schools that are here. She goes to the school that I guess the fucking Poppin' Party members are from. I'm clicking on stuff to like get context, and I'm like, oh, I don't care about anything else aside from like what's happening in this show. I'm realizing, but like this is all to say that the majority of these episodes are about these are people that are not gelling right now, and they will continue to not gel. Maybe at some point they'll get in a better position with each other and it'll be fine, but it'll just continue to be uncomfortable, and you're going to sit in this discomfort and you're going to have a good time because of how much of a bad time everyone else is having. And so I think that part, yeah.
That was what I had heard, because I know last time when you had only watched a couple episodes, or I don't even know if that was when we were doing an episode, but you were unimpressed at that point. But
I think the first few episodes are a bit slow to warm, but like episode 3 is a flashback giving you the context, and it's also done in a first-person perspective. Like you are literally Tamari, like seeing just everything happen, and so and Tamari is very much, I would say, coded to be on the spectrum. Like she is a very niche collector of things. Like a running gag will be Anon gets hurt or something. It'll be like, oh, I've got, the limited edition, like zoo Band-Aids. This one's the Emperor Penguin. This one's the, like a frilled penguin or whatever. Her notebooks are like all in, like, it is very much this focus of like, oh, you're a very particular person. And so, a lot of her songs will be about, oh, I wish that I could be human and know how to like connect with other people. It comes from a very realistic standpoint, and that is genuinely novel. Like, it feels lived in, and that is a fun aspect to this kind of a show, where it can be so easy to, like, glaze over and feel like, nothing is authentic, quote-unquote. This is at least doing the job of saying, like, no, let's have some fun. Let's stew in what it is to be, a teenage girl in your angst, and also you're able to like showcase that through musical prowess. And from that, there is that sense of realism there. But then the thing that like just brushes up against me with it is the fact that because this is still a gacha game anime, and because of the fact that it is still ultimately trying to sell me on, this illusory aspect of what I could eventually get. And like, I don't want to say this as like a downplay of what's at the core of this show. The core is still very fun. the core is so melodramatic and sincere and wearing its heart on its sleeve about how sometimes you just end up seeing the right people and it's like, man, I want to let this last forever. Even if I know fully well that, like, you know, I'm 15 and forever doesn't even mean 10 years, 5 years to me. Because then college will happen and I'm doing other stuff with my life. But I don't know that yet. I'm a freshman in high school. That is all juxtaposed with, you know, the standard trend, I would say, in modern anime or anime set in, like, modern day Japan, where there's just a very sanitized, architectural, and aesthetic look. The girls play at this local live cafe, a local concert venue, where it is one part like a French pâtissier or cafe, one part you go and you check out the bands that are playing. Everyone has amps available and are able to, you know, get started on their songs. Everyone has the right instruments at all the time, and at no point do you have to worry about whether or not you, like, forgot something, because everyone's got what they need. We're going over to a friend's house. They live in the penthouse suite of what's going on.
Yeah, the lack of friction is what always kills me with... I don't realize this isn't a sport, but the same concept to an extent, sports anime stuff, like, a lot of the time, where it's just like, yeah, they just have the ideal conditions, whatever.
Because the friction is there in, like, the interpersonal
Yeah,
aspect,
exactly. So it just ends up feeling crazy.
Yeah, no,
everything
it
would be
crazy.
perfect if we didn't hate each other.
Everything would be perfect if we managed to find a therapist.
That plus everything.
If you threw a gun in the middle of this band, like, that would be... No, if you just threw, like, a bread knife in the middle of this band.
So it just ends up feeling like almost like... And I run into this problem with a lot of media where it's like... It almost misunderstands how a lot of interpersonal problems are sourced to an extent. Like, even if it's good and like they have good reasons for it, but, like, it becomes harder to take it seriously because, like, you see how perfect everything else in their life is going almost.
No, exactly. Like, one of the problems that Anon has, she is, you know, she's Anon. She has a little bit of, like, a imposter syndrome, where she is the kind of person that, like, she tries to do something, it gets too hard, she kind of gives up on it. That is very relatable, and it gets thrown into its farthest example, where in middle school she says she's going to study abroad. She goes to London for a bit. She has difficulty with the language, and after, like, a few, I think literally after one day, just packs it all up and moves back to Japan to go to a Japanese high school. And then eventually, like, runs into her old middle school friends that are like, oh, hey, didn't you go studying abroad? And she's having that breakdown of, like, oh, God, I'm such a fake. I'm such a failure. Why did I prop myself up? Again, there's a lot of familiarity in these lived experiences. Like, Soyo is a very good character later on because she is very much a people pleaser. And it breaks her at a very good moment where there's essentially, like, a moment of catharsis for everybody else where it's like, oh, we're playing this band, we're good at this. And after the show, she's like, why the fuck did we do this? Because we just made one of my old friends cry. And eventually it leads into, like, oh no, you're not doing this for anybody else but yourself. But because of the fact that you're trying to please everybody else, it seems like you're trying to be altruistic and selfless. Like, you can tell the excitement I get for the interpersonal dialogue and from, like, the actual interaction for these characters. But again, it gets washed away from realizing, you know, yeah, everyone lives in a, like, top floor high rise, and they go to school, they eat pastries at the cafe, and then they get to practice their music.
Yeah, that...
And, like, I also say this because I'm someone that is relatively, like, I have a bunch of friends that are part of, like, the local music scene here in Brooklyn, and it's like, you know, not to say that it's always a constant struggle, but it's more like you see the venues, and venues are a lived-in space. They are locations where, you know, you have people of multiple different creeds, levels of fame, notoriety, or even just people that are like doing this as a hobby, coming together to share their talents and share their craft. And a lot of these different venues like cultivate a space, they cultivate a scene. They can be similar in what it is that they do, but also you end up having like very particular vibes depending on the place that you go. And this live house, you know, the joke, not even the joke, but like one of the characters, Rana, she's like a 8th grader in the in a Taki's like unit school or whatever, that girl's academy. And you know, she's just about like, I want to find a place where I fit in and I belong. And that's kind of it. Like, she is just very good at the guitar, this very busted guitar that her grandma had. And there's just, what is it? Granddaughter of Suzuki Shifune. She would hang out at Space. However, after its closing, Rana felt that she had lost the place where she belongs to. Later on, Rana started frequently playing at Ring and would also try practicing with other bands. However, she never stayed long with any of them, and she would quickly lose interest. There's something there, but again, the hardship of just like, oh, I'm not like here or whatever. It's just so throwaway sometimes. And, you know, the idea is like, oh, I'm such an eccentric. And it's like, sure, I guess. Or, like, the most gritty thing is this guitar that's, like, busted up and, like, kind of ratty looking. Same as the guitar that, like, the one guy had in a Beck. But, you know, there's no actual story to what was going on. It's just like, man, they were the coolest band. And again, I measure myself on how much I'm like being critical, because ultimately there is still the fact where it's like, hey, you know, if I'm trying to be critical about like, man, there's no hardship in this anime, that is very specifically about women experiencing music, and like I could turn to any other venue out here and be like, oh no, yeah, that is like still a hard thing to find. I won't critique the escapism there, but then also, you know, have been able to be a part of spaces that very actively cultivate an inclusive and welcoming vibe. And those are much more hard fought. Those are much more like sought after. And part of it comes from the fact knowing that, like, you know, eventually the well that is the capitalistic hellhole we live in can take it out if, you know, we are not careful. And it's interesting. I would definitely say, like, if Undead Murder Farce is my favorite anime so far, this is easily number 2 of like anything else I can think of here. Yeah, end of the day, it is just a really well done like melodrama.
Mm-hmm. And there's not a lot of those, honestly, because I feel like you always run into the thing of like, John always complains that I don't mind it so much, but the people don't talk to each other type thing. It feels like the limits of what we have. Whereas, like, this is an extension of, obviously, they could talk to each other, but I feel like from what you said, when they talk to each other, they just get fucking pissed.
That is very much the case. They tried to talk to each other, but no one actually knows how to talk to each other, and that feels very real. Like, yes, he could just talk, but, like, you don't actually know how to talk yet because you're hormonal and in middle school and you want to do everything and nothing at the same time.
And you've just been invited to the girls' band party.
And it's like, how are we going to do this? I want to die. I'm going to sing.
See, I haven't played that game in a hot minute, but I think a lot about Project Sakai, the Hatsune Miku game. They have Miku around to talk in their mind palace, so they don't have these problems. Miku and friends having access to a mind palace where you can talk to Miku and friends. Well, like that's perfect.
It really does
like,
help a lot.
I wish I had that.
Especially since then, Miku like comes fucked up, depending on their vibe.
Yeah, the fucked up with the emo girls. Yeah, the depressed girls. That's their own problem.
Also, the idea that like everybody's in a band, like it's
It's just so funny.
it's true, but then
it's a
also like
world
this
that
gets
doesn't
like
make sense.
next level about it.
You go to the school where everyone's
Yeah,
in a
that
band.
becomes competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, which is next to the other school where everyone's in a band, and it's like again, it's that background thought of like, how many of these people are like, does anyone else want to be a doctor? Does anyone else want to be?
Yeah,
You have to go to the doctor
it
town for
definitely-
that.
I think my problem with some of like again, if you think about it too hard with these like music based it doesn't again the word unpacking today it doesn't really take a moment to meditate. What does that imply about the music industry in their worlds? So like why is this?
They
what's
control
going on
food
that's
and water.
inspiring this?
They just
Yeah.
control everything.
Yeah. It's like what is? It's like. And again, I think that inherently is like a cultural thing to an extent of like people are so like people kind of just know like in East Asian music industries, like people just know and are kind of very well knowledgeable about the system of like like the funneling idols and whatnot. Like a lot of these stories are written very much with that in mind. Like these characters live in such insular worlds that feels like very similar to that. Like, what if your world is just a giant idol academy and that's the only thing on your brain, And I think that's kind of the problem. So I think that's how these stories are being created. They're kind of crafted based on that framework of like that funnel system in a way, and it kind of so as a result, it kind of feels like if you think about the basis of reality too much, it is very out of touch with the rest of the world and how things are working. Like so like why are so many people in a band? Like, oh, it's because technically they're just competing against. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's what's going on too. Like,
But again, it's so funny that this is like the one where you'll catch glimpses of the other bands too. Like, after trolling through the wiki band, I'm like, oh, this is a reference to like one of the other ladies in the band, or like the other groups that are around.
Which would be effective if you cared about the rest.
If I cared about that, yeah. But it's just really funny seeing them show up as like this personal group of friends are like literally going through hell over and over again, having to be near one another.
Right.
It's a really good bit of just like, oh, here, like, I think there was an episode where like one of the bands ends up like, I think like Poppin' Party shows up and it's like, oh, we're so nervous, it's gonna be a great day. And like after that, it's like, we sucked. MyGO is like, we fucking sucked. What are we doing with our lives? I don't know what you're doing. What the fuck are you doing? Oh, I'm just trying to be me. But you always change you're always changing the music sheet. I'm just learning the guitar. What do you want out of me? I want you to be fucking good. No, fuck you. Like, this is like if the Saint Anger documentary from Metallica was made into an anime, but like you made it good. Like again, there's an understanding of drama that is inherent to just playing music that really works well.
Well, I might check it out someday then, because I did enjoy Bandori, and I liked that. I think like honestly, like a lot of the storylines in the game proper, like ignoring like their silly little events and such that most of the game is, like if you read the story proper, like there's some pretty good stuff in there, like with some melodrama and stuff. Especially as it kept going on. So I'm glad to see that the anime has finally really gone in on that. I know some people said positive things about the third season, but I just don't care about Poppin' Party. You can't make me care about Poppin' Party. But good. I'm glad that I am really glad that it lived up to the hype, as it were, for you.
No, definitely.
I'm going to let John go on a crazy manga binge in a second.
Yes.
But I just want to say, real quick, I watched Kamen Rider Gotchard, which started the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Is it called Gotchard?
Gotchard. It's called Gotchard.
I guess you'll explain it. Why is
called Gotchard because he's collecting cards of little creatures, and he loves saying gotcha.
Oh, wow. That's That's really, I think, tearing the edge of what Pokemon. I don't know.
It's,
That's a little close.
I want to say
that's very close.
in general, I want to say I'm very positive on it so far, especially after I did not
Okay.
like the last one very much at all.
they're on thin ice with that. I think. I don't know.
It's so
Someone
much more
could get in
kid
trouble.
oriented.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
but I think that's good because it means they're doing Monster of the Week.
Yeah.
It means they're busting out
more
practical
fun.
effects that look stupid as hell and great. So the whole conceit of the show is that it's like alchemists, but it's like fate mages, basically, I guess. So they have like the secondary lead is just like basically Rin from Fate, and this dude like follows her one day and then goes like, oh, he gets pulled into being a common rider by the whole gimmick is he puts 2 cards into his belt and then he like transmutes them into a new form or suit or whatever. It's, they do that shit. It is very kid oriented, very, like I said, Monster of the Week than some of the more recent ones have been. I think like starting with like 0-1, they really started trying to like go for like maybe more of a teenage audience a little bit. And like, so they went like a little more edgier. Which, like, Kamen Rider's always edgy, but, like, I just mean, like, specifically, like, dropping Monster of the Week for a lot of them, like, going into more, like, concentrated arcs and having characters, and especially doubling down on, like, having there be, like, 30 writers or whatever. This one is just him so far, and then, like, his mage support lady. And, it's fun. It's goofy, but it's fun. Like, they got the second episode was about a beautiful little skateboard that loved skateboarding, and it just went around going skateboard, and then it was corrupted by the evil in the hearts of men. So it got evil sunglasses that they put on and they taped to a real skateboard, which was great. And then it became a monster that they killed. It's just basic Kamen Rider, really, and I'm honestly grateful for that right now, because I think like Geats was just like every week I was just like, come on, buddy, you're supposed to do the kick, okay? You haven't done the kick in months. This guy, he's already done like 5 kicks. Like, we're back. We're so back. I'm a little worried about the child angle, like the children's show angle. But, sometimes that's fine, okay? Sometimes it's fine. They can't all be, like, high-concept Dawn Brothers bullshit going on. But it does make it feel like it's the most toy-oriented one. Like, like, people always joke that these things are just designed to sell toys, which, ostensibly they are, but, like, this one is, like, don't you want to buy the card pack and see your friends? Don't you want to get a card pack now? Just the angle of it being cards, I think, really makes that. And also, sometimes he turns into forms that are obviously toys that they're going to sell. But it's fun so far. I'm enjoying it, especially with King Oger is still really, really good. They're doubling down on it being Gurren Lagann by doing a time skip and like doing space stuff now. It's just good stuff. Good stuff all around in the Sentai space. I'm happy. But what's going on in the manga space of various years, John? I feel like this is a bit of a slew.
I've just been grabbing shit and reading it. Some of it I've been reading online. Some of it has been physical. I am a man of multitudes, if nothing else. So I finished reading Billy Bat, and that shit was incredible. That was probably one of my favorite things that I've read in a long time. I've been experiencing a lot of things like this, and the Barbie movie have. I've taken similar things away from each of them in that, capitalism breeds a lot of terrible, terrible things, but every once in a while, there's still art being made under capitalism, and it does a lot of horrible things with that art, but there's still wonderful aspects about that art that, no matter how bad capitalism gets, can never truly snuff it out. That means a lot to me, as someone who, is a critic, as someone who, one of my favorite things in the world is fucking Pokemon. Like the thing that is the most popular thing in the world that, is there's so much about it that is harmful in ways, but at the end of the day, like, you can make so many just wonderful connections with people just being into the same thing, like, just, like, I can talk to so many people about Pokemon, just like how characters in the manga were, able to connect with each other over a love of Billy Bat or a love of drawing Billy Bat, and that was really cool. But it also just reminded me a lot of, like, oh my god, like, the Disney Corporation's fucking horrible, and as it's wild to think about, like, this was published before, like, a lot of the, like, monopolization that Disney had done in the more recent years.
I guess
I had been sorry, I tanked through all of Defunct Land again, as one is wont to do. You just get bored enough. You're like, all right, yeah, I'll just watch every single video that Kevin Purcher has put out about.
Well, the man's good at what he does.
Man's good at what he does. But, in the middle of all that, he just had that realization of, like, God, man, it's weird thinking about a time where it's like, oh, Disney almost got bought. Like, that is weird to think about in current times.
And to do that, he has to be actually a bona fide Disney fan inherently to
Exactly,
actually
that too.
digress. Yeah, so he's actually he acknowledges many times he is a consumer himself of the Disney brand. So,
and not
so
only that, but like the most like fickle to capitalistic like components, the amusement park ride. He's mentioned it before of like, oh, yeah, you can't like delete a movie, but sure they can be like, taken away and like be considered lost media, quote unquote. But it's like you can still find ways to take care of that item. There's still a way for it to exist and persist, even if it's just like other iterations. But when a ride is shut down, that's it. You can't do that anymore, and it's a very tangible thing. But all that to say, yeah, like there's this love of what is done in like the system of capitalism, and it kind of just gets more wild as you realize how badly the system screws it over. That's from finishing up the Jim Henson miniseries again, where it's just like, man, I love my friend Kermit. I want to kill Bob Iger.
Listen, I feel like
all
many
the Bobs
people
are bad. Truly.
I really liked Mark Frost tweeting recently, like, we told you that Bob is a killer in Twin Peaks forever ago, about like the recent stuff he's been doing.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. I think everyone should check out Billy Bat. I think everyone here would absolutely eat it up.
Yeah, I've only heard good
and
things.
pretty much anyone who's listening would love it too. Yeah.
It's tangential, but Pluto's coming out soon, isn't it?
It fucking is.
Well, that'll be great.
It looks really good. That's gonna be rad. But yeah, that is the thing, is that Billy Bat is something that you're going to have to read any way you can. I'm stealing that from a YouTuber that I like, SNES Drunk, because they make some claims about a character who's very much supposed to be Walt Disney. I will just say there, that a lot of other people make those same claims, and it's the kind of thing where if you were to maybe try to sell a manga that had those claims in it in America, they would probably get shut down. So, we'll just say it's great though. It's super fucking good. I adored it. I mean, Urasawa's like one of my favorite authors in general, so I'm glad to have read through that entire story and experienced it as I did. But otherwise, yeah, I read the newest volume of Die Dark that had come out, which is still very, very funny. I'd say that this volume wasn't super, like, it was just setting things up, mostly. It wasn't anything super major, but it was still funny, and the art is still great, so I'm not upset about that. I'm fine with a big old platter of setting things up, because, hey, next volume, that just means shit's gonna be popping off. I'm ready. I love to see that. Dark's great. And then two shorter things here that I read any way I could. There's the manga called Lock Up, which is about it's a wrestling manga. The main character is a man named Samson Takagi, who is running a pro wrestling organization, like a small like poverty organization sort of thing, and the whole thing is just about Samson struggling to stay relevant as like an older wrestler. You know, yeah, I am not super well versed with the current wrestling scene, but I do feel like the sort of slow grapple guys are seen as less of a thing than like the high flyers and the like the sorts of people who are doing things that might look like the shoot wrestling kind of thing. It goes into that. I think it's a really like beautifully drawn story. It's very sad because Samson not only is struggling to keep his organization afloat, he is also dying of cancer, and the sad thing is it is a treatable cancer, but he refuses to treat it because he would no longer be able to wrestle if he did it. So he just wants to go out wrestling, basically. He wants to go out on his feet in a way. And so it's heart-wrenching, but it's really good so far. Definitely, if you are a fan of wrestling, I think you would get a lot out of it. It's Lock Up.
Not to toot his horn again. I have expressed my many feelings about Darren Aronofsky, but that's kind of very similar premise to The Wrestler, the movie.
Yes.
So, yeah, very similar. Just like here's this, again, also a wrestler, but yeah, here's this person in this really, like tough competitive kind of like, physical sport, and physical performance, and like he already has the warning signs that you got health problems, you got to stop. But then, the hubris of man, right? And and it's just one of those character studies. Yeah, that sounds interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's only 7 chapters translated so far, and I'll be honest, I'm not really sure about where it's going right now. It's maybe, like, I'm definitely still interested, but I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing here. I don't know, we'll see how this goes. Again, not to spoil stuff that, like, just got translated, but, like, I'm curious to see where it goes. It could go south or it could go north in some aspects. I'm interested to see. The last thing that I read was Nick and Lever, which is, I think the easy way to describe it would be it's got like the same energy as a Pop Team epic, I would say, where it's just completely off the shits. Everything is just goofy and crazy, but it's about these 2 like macho dudes. They are 2 foreigners. Named Nick and Lever, and each chapter is usually between like a page and 5 pages. Some of them are a little more, but it's very much just like really goofy sight gags and just showcasing these extremely well drawn, extremely buff men having wacky adventures. I read it in like 45 minutes, like the entire thing that is out. I don't know if there's going to be more. Like, it does say that it is ongoing, but at the very least, I just enjoyed breezing through it. It made me laugh out loud quite a few times. Just super goofy, super fun little manga that I hope there will be more of, but if not, I'm still just happy to have experienced it. And yeah, like I'm just enjoying. I'm enjoying reading through manga a lot, just because it's easier to get a couple pages in here or there while you're at work, and it's slow, you know. I mean, while I'm working hard at work and paying full attention.
Why else?
Man, I gotta read more.
I'm gonna say, why else do you think they made manga though? For real, like that's. You can say it's just for comics, but you know, they know the.
I mean, hey, yeah, like Nick and Lever being like a couple of pages definitely helps while you're like, you know, in between ringing somebody up. You just, you know, look at a page or two, get a full joke, and you get to laugh a little bit, and then you're back to the grind. That's how it goes, I guess.
I'm looking real quick, seeing what I got right now. Because I downloaded all of Slam Dunk recently. God, I told myself I was going to get to the Oshi no Ko manga still. I've got all of Beck. I've got Barakamon. A lot of the stuff that we've, like, covered on the show, I've maybe also picked up as, like, manga. Oh my god, I still have Delicious and Dungeon to get through, because that's finishing up soon.
It's going to be done. Which is crazy.
It just finished, actually.
Oh,
yeah,
it did? Wow.
The ending, like, came out today. So, it's over.
When Baldur's Gate
I was reading
3
How to Be a
comes out.
Relationship. Still got to get through that. I got all of Nana. Picked up the Kong Ming manga.
I kind of wanted to read Jujutsu Kaisen just so I'm aware, almost.
So, you know, oh my god, we missed the 1,000-day mark for how long?
Nobara.
No, not Nobara.
Gojo.
No, I'm thinking about Chainsaw Man.
Oh.
I'm forgetting his name. Chainsaw Man, old man. Kishibe.
Yeah.
How long has Kishibe not been in the manga? 1,000 days.
He's back now, though, isn't he?
No.
No, he's not. People are just
yet.
drawing him for fun.
Maybe.
Well,
I'm
because
not
it's
even
been
caught up on
1,000 days.
Chainsaw Man.
Oh,
It's
okay.
I am actually. Yeah, he's not in there yet. But yeah, it's people are probably drawing him because it has been 1,000 days and people think it's funny.
Okay, I saw some pictures of him with Naruto, and I was like, damn, I'm like 3 behind, I guess. Shit must have gone down.
I was catching up. I was catching up on Shoha Shoten, the one that's about like the Manzai comics. That's like a monthly. And again, just one really good bit where one of the characters is like having to do like a panel, and he's having trouble getting like the cadence. So one of the guys comes back and is like, "Look, I know you're really good at writing, but you also got to know about the delivery," and is able to pick it up. And again, just the topic of what's something in the future, like what are mundane problems of the future, and one of the bits being popular YouTubers aren't annoying enough anymore. It just really, if the whole conceit is, oh yeah, I have like the topic, and I try and figure out like how far out of it I could get to still be clever, but like have a really solid punchline. That is a really good explanation of like, it does such a good job of showing like, oh yeah, okay, like here's how comedy works, but also here's us actually doing it and like still making sure that like everything lands, which is so hard to do when you're having to like have a metatextual understanding of comedy.
I wanted to read, what's it fucking called? Someone told me about.
Akane Banashi.
Thank you. You knew.
Because that's just the other one too. Like if it's not Jujutsu Kaisen, if it's not Chainsaw Man, you should be reading
Yeah,
Akane Banashi.
I need to get in on it.
And also Blue Box, but I also haven't caught up on Blue Box.
And I need to read fucking Die Dark.
I'm like 20 chapters behind on Akane Banashi.
I was almost going to go read Dead Mount Deathplay, but then I'm like, that season's so soon. That season's next week or some shit. Like, I can wait.
Yeah, we're gonna become a book club now.
We can. We genuinely
yeah,
can.
fuck it.
We can always do that. It's always an option.
It is. That's what my that's not what my choice is.
We're at the end of the show. If you'd like to say what your choice is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny because I actually did show off what my choice was when I showed you all the document.
Uh-huh.
But I never, I had it in white text, so none of you ever actually read it at the bottom. And I'm gonna try and see if I could actually see what I, wrote. But ultimately, we go from one show about, okay, here's what I got.
Okay.
As for my pick, I'm thinking about September and the start of school for many kids. Oh, adolescence. The wildest of times for anybody. Something so surreal and mind-altering that can feel like some sort of illness or disease. In that respect, I'm taking this as a chance to revisit a modern take on adolescence in the form of Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
Okay.
Okay.
You know what? Good. You're getting me through it. You're making me do it. Fuck it. I will watch Mid Monogatari.
Whoa. Wow, you're just throwing strays at me.
I'm sorry,
In one month.
I have friends who love it.
In 1 month there will be fists will be thrown.
No, I bet I'll be like, oh, yeah, all right, I'm impressed. I understand why people like it. Probably when I get to the end. That's my assumption.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, it's less vampires and snails and more. Yeah, what if growing up just sucked, but was also like a fucking, disease?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool. You can find that anywhere, is what we'll continue to say for every episode now, I feel like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that one's so easy to find. Fucking, you could probably find it on YouTube in 8 chunks.
Oh, do the classic 8-chunk.
Yeah.
That's how we got to experience things again. That's the real nostalgia.
Whenever I watch my Siskel and Eberts, sometimes I don't find the right channel that has the right videos or whatever, and it shows me this really scary one where they put a 1950s doll in front of a box CRT TV, and then they put the video really tiny on that. And that's what we need for that. But yeah, all right. So Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, still the worst name, maybe for an anime ever.
Oh no, there's worse.
There's worse. You're right. You're right.
There's
You're
worse.
right.
There is
There's worse. There's always.
It's still
worse.
really bad.
It's still not.
It's still
good.
really bad.
This one at least knows that it's doing a bit,
Yeah.
and it's leaning into its bit.
I just feel like it does it as a service. Is what I've always thought whenever I see that title.
That's
Right.
fair. No, that is totally fair.
And the screenshots out of context of the girl in the bunny outfit, it's just what's going on?
I mean, he
What's
They
doesn't
know what they're
dream of
going
her,
for. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just,
but again, consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah, consistent is people like this show, and they're like, okay, I should check it out.
Well, now we're going to have to.
It's now homework.
Maverick's done the nuclear option.
This is the nuclear option.
No,
not,
you're right. TQ
we have a
part
whole
2.
list of other nuclear. We have multiple nuclear options to be going
do.
honest that
We
listeners
do.
aren't privy to yet.
Oh. But yeah, all right. So we'll be watching that in a month. Next week, we're going to go over probably the season. It might overlap with the season having already started, but let's be real. Most of you out there, you don't fucking know what's happening on the season of anime. You need us to tell you about the 30 isekais to avoid. And you never know. I'm grateful for that fucking us doing that because it meant I gave Undead Murder Farce a try. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping same thing here, although next season's pretty stacked, so it might be a little easier.
We'll have fun with it.
Yeah. But all right, cool. As always, you can go to, if you wanted to send any questions or opinions, go to gamesline.tumblr.com. patreon.com/ask, or hell, whatever, anywhere. And you go to patreon.com/gamesline to donate $3, and you get this show 1 week early, and the occasional other show or bonus content that we are, want to do. I know there was a Starlight car you guys did, right, a little bit ago, with the
but it is
it's out there now. Yeah,
but
it's out there now.
yes.
Yeah, the Duke Nukem.
Yeah.
And I know we got some other interviews in the chamber right now, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I hope everyone has a good day, night, month, week, year, out of order, whatever. But see you next time on another episode of Unlimited Realities.